All right, welcome to Outdated and Uneducated Week 8 preview show. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. How's it going over there? Just forgot to turn on the most important light. No big deal.
That's all
It's
right.
going great. Already ready to go. Ready kind of finishing up a nice epic game here on Thursday night and looking forward to the weekend for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know what the weather is there, but I'm here in Wisconsin and it is cold now. It's about that time of year. So
Well, you saw what the weather was on Sunday here, but no, now it's perfect again, like it is almost every day.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's you pay for the weather. That's what I tell myself.
Well, I don't know if you watched that broadcast of that game, but
Hmm.
Al Michaels said they had a shot of the outside and everything,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and they said that they filmed it the night before because of how the weather was going to be.
Oh
So
yeah, that was a hurricane, cyclone. Don't get a lot of those, but
yeah.
I guess we did. Uh, it's a cyclone, but in the Pacific, or a hurricane, but in the Pacific. Anyway, let's embarrass ourselves with some of our predictions from last
Let's
week. How
go.
about
Week
that?
7
All right,
predictions.
all right. So what was the score? What do we got here? So the first one we did was the Colts-Niners, and what was the final score on that one?
So for the Colts Niners, that was Colts 30, Niners 18.
Colts 30 and Niners 18. So you had Colts 20, Niners or Colts 24, Niners 24, correct? Or no, you had 40, oh, I'm sorry, 49ers winning 24 to 20.
I did have the 49ers winning.
Yep,
Okay.
24 to 20. And
Oh
I
wow.
had the Niners winning 21 to 17.
So really the Niners didn't show up.
No. No, not at all. Yeah, yeah, I was hoping they would. Colts becoming a little interesting. But yeah, that was a rough one for everyone involved. It was hard to watch. I mean, I know like the weather plays a big role, but it shouldn't be. You could still have a fun game. That wasn't a fun game to watch.
No, no, no. Yeah, I mean, Wentz at least made some good plays. Pittman Jr. looks like and we can talk about this later. Pittman
I was
Jr.
wrong
looks,
about him, but yeah.
yeah. And Jimmy G does not look like Superman.
No, and who gets it done in that game? Well, you get it done. That's what it is. A good quarterback gets it done. Like everyone's gonna
Right.
look bad. No one's gonna look good. There was like 40-mile-an-hour driving winds. Like it's just
Right.
like with rain. Like yeah, no one's gonna look good. But yeah, we were both pretty off on that one. Sounds
So
like.
neither of us look good either. So
No, yeah. I think you were. No, I guess I'm a little closer because I had no. We're exactly the same. Okay, exactly the same amount wrong. Okay, so and then we had Ravens Bengals. So you had Ravens 34-17. I had Ravens 24-21. What was the final score?
final score is Bengals 41, Ravens 17.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not even close again, and no one saw that coming.
Mm-mm.
Wow. I guess it was a close game for the most part, and I feel like a close game was to be expected, right? But at the end, the Bengals just pulled away. Jamar Chase continues to catch bomb touchdown passes just every week. He has never not caught. Has he ever not caught a bomb touchdown pass against the Bears? Did he get one? I think no, he did. He
He
broke two
did.
tackles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I heard he's got the most receiving yards in the first few games. This is crazy, like how good he's doing.
Yeah, no, it's
So
wild. If it continues, it's going to be the best rookie season ever. So that'd be cool.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun that both. It's fun that the answer to LSU passing attack was just yes.
right, absolutely.
Everyone was good. The quarterback was good. The wide receivers were good. Yes, yes, that attack was good.
Well, speaking of no, we were both bad on that one. So what was the next one we had?
So yeah. Next one, Chiefs Titans. So we were both wrong on this one. You had Chiefs 38-31. I had Chiefs 35-21. So I was yeah, no. Chiefs look bad. Chiefs look bad. Defense can't play. Patrick Mahomes is not playing that well. Isn't
Mm-mm,
playing that well.
mm-mm.
Playing like a pretty good quarterback right now, and that whole structure relies on him playing like the best quarterback. So if he's not playing like the best quarterback, it's just not that good of a team.
Yeah, and it could be on the Titans too. Just they're stepping it up. So I mean, we'll talk about a little bit. You
Yeah, surging
know,
Titans, absolutely, and
yeah,
that's a quality that, and you follow up like so. The Chiefs are struggling and floundering, and honestly, it's not that impressive of a win considering what we've seen from the Chiefs so far. But to not have the let after beating the Bills at home, and then you beat the Chiefs. Like, to not have the letdown, right? To not give, because that would be a classic. That means an easy game to lose for a pretty good team. And
right?
so the Titans really, that was a solid win for them.
Yeah, I mean, you have the letdown, and I feel like that Bengals, Ravens, the Ravens maybe had a letdown. That does happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
and they've been flying so by the seat of their pants, right? If you've watched any
mhm.
Ravens game, it's just a circus, and everyone just running around as fast as they can and hucking the ball and last second this off a helmet interception in overtime there, and like
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Eventually, it was all you can't do that every week. It's a short season, so maybe you can get away with it, but
it is.
yeah, eventually you're gonna run into a team that's hot too, and they're just gonna beat you.
And do we have a fourth one, or did we just have
No, that was it. That's all we
that
got.
was it? All right,
Yeah,
yeah,
wrong. Did none of us even get a winner?
zero.
None of us
Yeah,
even got
yeah.
a winner.
No,
So I'm just gonna go ahead, Control A, backspace. All right, there we
get
go.
rid of it. Yeah.
Fresh week. Cool. So who are we talking about first this week?
Well, so we talked about some of those teams, the Colts and the Titans. I mean
There we
that's
go.
a really solid matchup. The Colts seemingly could have like turned their season around by that win,
Yeah.
but they've got a tough Titans team.
Oh yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting matchup. What do
The
you think in there?
surging Titans. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it. Colts have been a little surprising. I mean, always kind of rested. It's not. They're a little better than I thought, but not by a lot. And their success was always going to ride on how well Carson Wentz played, and he's playing pretty well, right? Interesting stat on Carson Wentz out of PFF. They track turnover worthy plays, right? So they don't track, like, they find like that's more valuable than an interception, right? Because an interception, there's a lot more variance than a turnover worthy play. A little more subjective, but it's an interesting way to think about it. And Carson Wentz threw 3 last week. So that's a lot, but he has a season total of 4, and it was a tough game. I think it was like a windy or rainy or something like that.
yeah, absolutely.
uh,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's not bad. He's playing pretty well. He's playing as good as we've seen him outside of like brief streaks in 2017, really, and that's been kind of propelling this team towards on the edge of success. I guess we'll see. They have a chance against the Titans this week.
well, yeah, and I had a chance to talk with Stephen Burton from the No Horsing Around podcast, and he just talked about how Wentz is just he's finally kind of happier in his offense, and it helps to have the
Frank
coach
Reich.
that definitely helps.
Yeah.
But really they're not. I mean, he hasn't been healthy, and he's still moving around pretty well. Still making plays, and he just hasn't been healthy. The whole season yet, but he's still kind of making plays, and he does seem to be improving, and part of that might be also the improvement of Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman Jr. and a really good offensive line, which the last time we saw him succeed, well, maybe not a really good, but at least a pretty good offensive line. The last time we saw Wentz succeed was behind one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And yeah, he's just never really healthy, and he's always doing something. He's always like throwing a pick off or throwing a touchdown pass off a torn ACL and whatnot. Like he's a very gutsy quarterback. He's a fun quarterback to watch. He doesn't play a very exciting brand of football, but like he's just kind of fun to watch. You like rooting for him, really. But yeah, Michael Pittman has really emerged, and I'll call myself out here because coming into the season, I kind of had him pegged as a one route type of guy, right? He kind of just ran the crosser, right? Oh, lost me for a second. Sorry about that. And it was just like that's just all they had him do was just run that crossing route, run that crossing route, run that crossing route. And then now he's just going up and he's getting contested catches. He's running down the sideline. He's really hard to bring down. So I really like him after the catch. But yeah, I think the improvement of Michael Pittman Jr. A really good running game. Taylor has just been incredible. He just looks like such a beast. And they have Hines, just a really good 1-2 punch behind a good offensive line, a good interior offensive line, which is fun to run with. You don't see a lot of that anymore. But yeah, just a solid team, solid offensive scheme, solid players, and we're seeing Wentz play, pretty well.
And with Quentin Nelson getting healthier and getting in there,
that helps.
That definitely helps. Yep. So kind of it's interesting, looking at some matchups. The Titans, the Colts, they're average against the run. So, it's going to be interesting. Derrick Henry, he's going to be a focus there.
You're
Obviously.
playing all 3 running backs, by the way. Yeah. If in fantasy, right? You're playing all three. You're playing Hines, and you're playing Henry, and you're playing Taylor, right?
Yeah, because
Maybe not Hines. I guess we have a way better option, but it's a fine play.
yeah, Hines is if you're in a deeper league, you definitely he's
Yeah.
flex consideration there. Um, when you look at the offense, it'll be interesting to see if T.Y. Hilton is back for the Colts,
Yep.
because the Titans have been horrible with their secondary,
Mm-hmm.
although not quite sure what happened. I mean, that was probably more on just what was happening with the Chiefs, but I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of defensive statistics come from situation, which is why it's kind of a
Mhm.
hard. It's harder to plan for defense, kind of. Um, but yeah, their secondary is bad. If that is the, I don't think that's like a just they played tough people. They have played tough people. Their secondary is not good. For an NFL team, right? So yeah, that'll be Tannehill is at any point can win a game. He's not the quarterback. If you had to choose, no one's choosing Tannehill first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, right? But at any given moment, if he's facing a bad secondary, kind of like a Kirk Cousins type of thing, where it's like, oh, the Giants, yeah, you're getting torn up. Hey, like not the best quarterback in the league, but will tear up mediocre to bad secondaries, especially with his two wide receivers healthy and playing really well. Just two of the biggest bodies I've seen in the receiving core. You ever seen a bigger wide receiving duo than these two? I don't know if I ever have. Julio Jones and AJ Brown.
So yeah, that's the interesting thing. AJ Brown will he's going to get his targets. Julio Jones has been bothered by hamstring, and I was just kind of looking at
Mm-hmm.
too. He's really been down in snaps, and part of that's probably because of the
Interesting.
hamstring.
Yeah.
Like Westbrook, kind was had the same number of snaps, so he's been down. A lot of fantasy people say don't trust him this week and don't trust him going forward. So he's hard, but
Yeah.
like just having those big bodies, I think that'll be helpful. I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
going forward. Hopefully they can get him healthy. And I don't know if they need him in this game or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I guess maybe don't play. I suppose that's fair, and yeah, that's also I can get behind not trusting, not
But
not trusting Julio Jones because an old man with a hamstring injury is a recipe for fantasy disaster. I was thinking more in the context of the game. Yeah, I would they would cause problems, right? But as a fantasy, I would hesitate to start Julio Jones. I can get behind that for sure. AJ Brown, of course, you drafted him to start every game. He's going to start every game. But
and
yeah, Julio's an interesting one. I guess it depends. There's a lot of bye weeks, a lot of injuries. Like I bet most people who have Julio Jones are starting Julio Jones this week. If you have at
yeah,
least three wide receivers on your starting roster.
and the Colts have been banged up on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest thing for them will be getting pressure. And Tannehill, he's not reliable, but uh, when he needs to be, he can make the throw. And they haven't really needed to rely on him because of Derrick Henry and even throwing a touchdown pass last week too.
Yeah, he's just a monster. Yeah, it's a team that doesn't need. Well, you're always so. A team that doesn't rely on the pass, there still comes multiple times a game where you must pass. And it just so happens to be that those are the most important times of the game. So yeah, and Tannehill seems to do good in those, right? This team has had a lot of success these last few years. They've made a couple. They've been in the playoffs. They've been making runs, right? So Tannehill can win a big game if he has to. Not counting, not counting on it for sure. And I'm definitely not counting on Carson Wentz to like rise up and win this game, right? But it's gonna be. I just think it's gonna be a close matchup. Is what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling a close kind of dirty game.
Yeah, I would
Trenches.
agree. I would agree, and I'm not sure kind of what you got for score, but we've got there. But I'm thinking it's going to be 30-20 Titans. I really think the Titans have that momentum. Do you think the Colts can win here? Or?
Yeah, I think the Titans are going to win. But because
Mhm.
we chose all the same ones last week, we're gonna go.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna go with the Titans here. The Titans can absolutely win this game. The Titans have proven they can win every single game. Right? There's no team where you go up against them. Right? There's some teams in the NFL I would say, Colts probably can't beat that team. We can't say that about the Titans because they just are tearing through the AFC the last few weeks. Hot streaks end. I kind of like the Colts in this game. It seems like a decent matchup for them. They have good good defensive line for run stopping, good linebackers, right? But Derrick Henry's a monster. It's hard to quantify that. But yeah, I'll go Titans on this one. What's your score?
Mine was Titans 30-20.
Mine's 30-20. Okay, yeah, I like that. I will go. Oh, you're going the Titans.
I'm going the Titans.
Oh, okay. Oh, then I'm going the Colts. Actually, that's
I'm
great.
going the
That's great.
Colts.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Colts. It's going to be 20-17.
Okay, 20-7. Okay.
There we go. All right. Who do we got next?
So next, let's go ahead and do the Patriots Chargers. We'll save your favorite team for last. We'll do
Okay,
that.
we get to talk about my team this week.
So Patriots Chargers. This is kind of an interesting one, and you really have kind of an interesting thing with Mac Jones, his development, and really he's become kind of probably the best of the rookie bunch so far. And I don't know, a lot of it's the system he's in, the coach he's with. Coming up against the Chargers, who were surging and now kind of had a little bit of a power outage. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, so the Chargers. Well, I agree that Mac Jones is currently playing like the best rookie quarterback. That is unsurprising, and of course, some of it does have to do with circumstance. Absolutely, a fair amount of it, right? It's a competent franchise, right? They're gonna like game plan well against teams like Bill Belichick, right? He's lost a little of the luster since everyone realized it was mostly Tom Brady, but he's still he's a competent game plan coach, and he knows how to get talent out of players. There's no questioning those two things. And Mac Jones always had the highest floor. I think that was always the case. I don't think anyone questioned that Mac Jones, of the first round talent quarterbacks, so all of them, of the entire class, Mac Jones has the highest floor. Right? Pretty low ceiling is why he dropped. And so it's no surprise why he's playing the best through 7 weeks of their rookie season, but that's not why you draft. That's not why you draft a first round quarterback. Now, it's possible he continues, right? He's not making mistakes. Can he push it to the next level? Can he push the ball down the field? Yes, he can deliver the ball on time, underneath, intermediate, great. And you can do stuff with that. You need to have a really good team built around it to win that way, I feel like, though. That's like the San Francisco 2019 style, where it's like a lot of yards after the catch, a lot of running, like short stuff, and then great defense. And then, but the Patriots aren't quite there yet, and if you drafted a quarterback in the first round, you want to be able to push the ball down the field. But yeah, I don't mind the Patriots in this matchup either. It's an interesting. Last year, of course, Bill Belichick did the thing he does to rookie quarterbacks. What was the score? It was bad. It was really bad. It was like 50-0 or something in that range. It was just a trouncing. Right, it made Herbert look terrible. I don't foresee that happening again. But I don't think this is going to be a very easy game for the Chargers, and I don't fault them. I know the number was big last week in their loss, like the number by which they lost was large, but that's kind of the way they play, right? When they went for it on fourth down twice in their own half of the field, right? And they failed both times. And so sure, those are coin flip plays, those are 50-50 plays. But if you fail them on your half of the field, you're probably going to lose if you do that multiple times in a game. Like that's like the interception. That's as bad as an interception, right? So yeah, that just happened, right? And so it became a blowout. And I don't think that's they're going forward. I'm not too worried about them yet. Now, if they look really bad against Bill Belichick, who has like a decent defense over there, but not the Joe Burrow and the Chargers. Joe Burrow, wow. Herbert and the Chargers should be able to put up points against this defense, this Patriots defense. It's good, but not shut down this offense good.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots. I'm kind of looking at defense wise. A lot of it, yeah, scheme wise. Kind of looking. Patriots have only allowed 20 points per game.
That's not bad.
No, that's the sixth.
What's their schedule?
The six backs. Well, they've gone against the Jets twice, so that's part of it, right?
It does help.
And that was just a trouncing this past week.
Yeah, it's just gonna
54-13. So that was crazy. I just, when you look at the Chargers, I mean, on paper, let's see, the Chargers they scored 24.7 points per game.
It's a lower
average.
than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and a little bit of the sophomore slump, right?
A little
Yeah,
bit, a little bit.
um,
I think Herbert. He's not playing like it's not as wild as it was last year. Maybe not as memorable as it last year, but I think this confirms his rookie season more than it invalidates it. Right? I think this validates his rookie season the way the team has come out and started this year. Like he's not playing amazing, right? But he's playing really good. He's playing really. I mean, he was in the MVP conversation a couple weeks ago.
yeah. I mean, in what he's 65.4% pass completion. He's good at kind of
That's okay.
extending the plays. His mobility has
Yeah,
been huge, and a lot of it's kind of the surrounding parts as well. I mean, yeah, the team's been playing well.
yeah,
Um, here's the kicker for the Chargers, and part of it maybe is their defense. So they are the 10th best passing defense, right?
yeah.
So and that's with like Derwin James, right?
Derwin James, my guy. He's everyone's guy though. Who?
Yeah, so he's been good, but and Bosa's there on the pass, edge.
Yeah,
He's got
the
three and a
pass
half
rush has been
sacks.
okay. It's not been great, right? It's been okay for them, is what it seems like to me. Is what like while I'm watching it.
So here is the kicker. They are dead last in the rushing yards and yards
Yep,
per carry,
yep.
and that is so interesting. When you have Bosa, it's so interesting. And that's probably been the what's held them back this year. I mean, you can point to the offense, but I mean that's a huge part of it as well.
No, yeah, and that's if you just get ran over, you'll lose a game every once in a while. You can't just give. And I was gonna mention that, and I hate to see it, and I hate when this happens to players. My boy Linval Joseph needs to retire.
Oh,
Linval didn't even need to play for the Chargers at all. He could, and like, look, do what you want, make yourself happy.
yeah.
But now it's just bad to watch because not 4 or 5 years ago, he was. I mean, and we're not going to go down too far down memory road, but in my opinion, he was the most important piece on the 2017 number one defense for the Vikings. Eating two gaps and pushing them back, or eating double teams, pushing them back, eating multiple gaps, and getting pressure on the quarterback, and chasing down screens from behind. Right, like it was out of control. It was like one of the best big man true nose tackles seasons I've ever seen. And now that he's just getting ran over, and he was getting run over in 2019, one of the reasons we lost that game in the playoffs to the 49ers, peak Linval Joseph does not get ran over that hard. But anyway, that's why I knew it was done. That's when I knew it was done. And now it's definitely done. And they're getting ran over. They don't have great tackling linebackers. And so you're just going to get ran over. Your nose tackle's not doing what he used to, and you have pretty poor tackling linebackers, bad run fit linebackers, decent in coverage a lot of the time, but as we've seen with their overall coverage grade. But yeah, it has not been pretty, and you hate to see it.
So, some keys to this game too. Mac Jones, he's been kind of dinking and dunking.
Mm-hmm.
Can he do that versus the defense, and will that be enough? It's interesting. This is kind of the Hunter Henry revenge game, right?
Oh, it is. That's the narrative. There it is.
There it is.
It's the Hunter Henry revenge game. That's true. He's been having a pretty good season. They have a little connection there with Mac Jones.
264 yards. The last four games, he's had a TD.
Yeah. Boom.
So
Actually, that's huge. Wow. If you picked up Hunter Henry, late round, like as your last pick, even maybe like he's not that low, but he was like a 10th, 12th round type of guy, if I remember
and
correctly.
yeah, yeah, and no, I didn't even. You just don't know what to do with him and
Yeah.
Johnny Smith either. But looking at Mac Jones has 9 touchdowns, so almost so half the touchdowns are right there to Hunter Henry, and they have to be. They don't really have
Yeah.
and it's been for a while. They really don't have any solid. I don't know who the number one wide receiver. I mean,
They
Kendrick
ain't got the
Bourne.
juice. They ain't got the juice nowhere. They don't have it
No.
at the running back position. They
Mm.
don't have it at the quarterback position, and they don't have it at the wide receiver position. They can score points and they can move the ball a little bit, but there's just no juice in that offense. And that's
Mm-mm.
not really an empirical measurement, of course, but you can just tell. It's just this team is not going to be. not going to be a good playoff team, right? This team's not making a
Mm-mm.
run. They have nothing special, right? There's no right. They're not that effective in the passing game. I guess better defense than I gave them credit for, but playing the Jets twice, we will see. The time will tell
Yeah.
on that. But yeah, they just do not have the offensive juice.
So, speaking of the other side that does have the offensive juice, I really look at this being a big game for Eckler and one of our TO, we called him Mike, the tall one, Williams.
Ah, yes.
I think they're both going to have big games here, and I think the Chargers are going to have enough. I think the Chargers are going to win 24-17 here.
24-17. Yeah, I do like. I like calling Mike Williams to have a big game because he's either going to have a big one or a bad one. And,
Right.
It's about 50-50
Yeah.
for the last couple of years. He's really fun to play with in fantasy. A lot of anxiety on that one. Yeah, I could see that. Who's at home on this one? This is at Foxborough?
No, Chargers are home.
It's in LA. Okay.
Yep.
We are
So
in
it's
LA.
and they're a 5.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
The Chargers are right now.
Okay.
So I'm going over.
Chargers, Pats, and so you said 24.
24-17 Chargers.
Okay.
I'm gonna get one right. I'm gonna
Yeah,
predict.
absolutely.
That's my
I
other
think this is
prediction.
I think this is a bounce back game for sure. I kind of agree with you there. I think. I wonder how this passing attack from the Patriots will do against this Chargers defense. I think there's a chance that underneath stuff. I haven't watched enough to know quite how good their linebackers are at guarding underneath throws, but I have a feeling it might work out, and so I might be a little bit closer. I'm gonna go 24-21, 24-21 Chargers.
Well, and you're definitely starting Harris and maybe even Brandon Bolden on the Patriots side.
Brandon Bolden, I guess.
Yeah. He's
I guess
he's
you
bad.
are. Yeah. I guess you are. That's funny. Yeah, that's unfortunate, really. Well, I guess not. Well, that's not fair.
What was your
we gotta
score
give the kid
again?
a
Say that
chance.
again. What was your
I
score?
got 24-21 Chargers. We agree on this one.
Oh, okay. So we're pretty close on that one. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there we go. And then let's see what is next here.
So next we have this is a really interesting matchup this week: the Cowboys versus the Vikings.
Oh my God, I almost forgot my favorite one. Yeah,
And,
it's gonna be fun. Sunday night, Halloween night.
and it'll be interesting. They're not quite sure if Dak's not quite sure if he's going to start yet either.
Yeah, I saw that. And if Dak doesn't start, take the Cowboys on this one. Well, who's the backup quarterback? Before I say that, who is the backup quarterback?
I'll have to look.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
I should know this. I should have known this going in. It is.
It's definitely not Danucci anymore. They got rid of him.
Is it Garrett Gilbert? No. Oh, Cooper Rush.
That's
Okay.
right. Yes, Cooper Rush. Yes.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he's not so Kirk Primetime, says our buddy Snapple. That narrative has been shattered, Snapple. That narrative is dead. That narrative is buried. All right? Kirk Cousins, playing for a pretty poor Washington football team, lost to a lot of good teams in primetime. And he continued that trend in Minneapolis for a while. But then he daggered the Saints. And he also beat the Bears on Monday night. I'm sorry, I didn't want to mention it, but with those two wins, narrative shattered. Right?
Yeah, I don't even remember that one. So my memory, it's all gone. It's all in the past.
It's hard. It's like the only time we won at Soldier Field in the last 30 years. Okay. Soldier Field. Yeah.
This will be interesting, regardless if Dak plays. Is it a blowout?
No. Vikings play close. Vikings play everyone close. They play the Lions close. They play the Cardinals close.
Yeah,
No, it's close no matter what. And I think if Cooper Rush plays, it's also close. And I was wary. So the kryptonite to a Mike Zimmer defense is a journeyman veteran QB. Never beat him. Never beat him. We lost to Moore in KC. We lost to Chase Daniel. Picked him apart at Soldier Field. Andy Dalton beat them as well. Like it's the kryptonite. But because Cooper Rush is a young, inexperienced flamethrower. I think that actually is a good matchup for a Mike Zimmer defense. But anyway,
Well,
so yeah, no, it's not a blowout. This is gonna be a close game. These teams match up really well. The Vikings actually have a top 10 pass defense. Don't look now. I know they've played some poor competition, but they've also played some pretty good competition. Where played Joe Burrow, played Andy, played Murray, right? So not the worst competition, but also you play the Lions and Jared Goff, and you played played Sam Darnold. But still, no, it's still right now. PFF has them in the top 10 passing defense. I don't think Peterson's going to play. That's a pretty big deal. But I think these are a good matchup. Both teams have a similar style of play. Both teams pass the ball really well. Both teams run the ball pretty well. Vikings run the ball a little bit better, it seems like. But and both teams have competent defenses. I think it's going to be fun, high-scoring game. Kind of like the Vikings at home here, actually. Surprisingly, I know the Dallas looks kind of unstoppable lately. But the Vikings don't lose a lot of game at home when it's full and they're full strength, right? Not a lot of injuries. Vikings aren't missing any huge major pieces, right? And they're at the bank. Don't lose a lot of games there.
Well, they are, speaking of no fun, they are kind of missing a little bit. At least Harrison Smith is bummed about.
Is Harrison Smith out?
No.
Okay.
He is bummed that he's going to miss Halloween. He was talking about how he was going to set this big bowl of candy out, and he can't celebrate Halloween, and so maybe he'll be gone in a way. But no Patrick Peterson. No Patrick Peterson.
So that is the one big real hit, and he was playing really solid. He was playing solid.
So I it'd be helpful if Dak's not in there. If
I hope he plays. I want to see him play because I want to see the Vikings prove that they can beat a really good team this year. And I want to know now. I don't want to know like in a couple of weeks. I hope Dak plays, and I hope it's a shootout. I think it's going to be a shootout. Both teams can just really. I think they're going to throw really well against each other. And I know Trayvon Diggs has a lot of interceptions, but he's not a lockdown corner. He's a go after the ball corner. And
he's gotten beat.
You can get punished throwing. You can get punished doing that against wide receivers who are as good at route running as Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Not to mention, Kirk Cousins is right now the most accurate passer in the league. Say
that again.
Most accurate passer in the league right now, Kirk Cousins.
Maybe a third time. Go ahead, say a third time.
Most accurate.
All right.
Passer in the league. Kirk Cousins.
How crazy is that?
He's probably not going to not the best quarterback in the league, most accurate. There's always a stat that Kirk Cousins is the best at. Right? So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but he's hitting his spots and he doesn't take risks, not throwing interceptions. Offensive line playing pretty well. I'm not terribly afraid. Maybe if Parsons gets back in there, I'm not terribly afraid of the pass rush. But I'm more afraid of the Dallas offense, right? Because they can just take over the game, right? So the Vikings match up well against the defense. I'm not, like I said, Diggs might get an interception, but he might get burned on a double move too when he's trying to jump the route, right? Because he likes to do that. He takes big risks. So I see I see it being a shootout, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, Dallas is 27th against wide receivers. So
right. Oh yeah, and so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. You got Diggs doing well, but people have been able to throw against him. So
yeah, he's not stopping anyone from passing. He is making big splash plays, and that's cool. And his ball skills, you can tell he's a Diggs for sure. But that's incredible. But I don't see, even with Patrick Peterson, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and they got Austin too, making big plays.
And
I don't see Patrick Peterson stopping either of them. I might slow him down, but not eat both of them. And Breland and Dantzler being the second and third, it's fine, right? Those are fine, but fine against elite usually doesn't end well, right? Fine against elite means for most of the game you're fine, but then you give up big plays, and that's not what they want to do. So maybe they just try to give it up underneath all night. I know this pass rush the Vikings has also been really good. Like this is a Mike Zimmer defense again, and I didn't realize it until this last week. I know it's Sam Darnold, but I was like, oh yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. We're supposed to stop players and stop people from moving the ball. It was 1 year. It took me to forget what a Mike Zimmer defense looks like, but they're good against the pass, and they have another probably top 5 pass rush this year too. I think they're third in sacks. They get a lot of pressures. Like yeah, it's looking good. But what do you think? What do you think on this game? You think blowout? You said blowout. That was where you went right away.
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at the Cowboys' offense, it's the Cowboys are definitely going to score points, and I think the Vikings are going to score points too, and I think this is going to be a Cowboys win, and this is with I'm thinking with Dak. The Cowboys
it's no fun to predict without Dak. Yeah, predict with Dak.
So with Dak, I think the Cowboys are going to win 31-24.
31-24.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a blowout. That's a blowout. 7 point for sure. by prediction standards at least, definitely a blowout.
Right.
Yeah, it could happen. And you never know when the Kirk meltdown is coming. It can always be around the corner, especially when you're doing good. Seems like that's when it's ready to strike. It could definitely be. I feel like if the Vikings struggle, they're going to struggle mightily. And it might end up being a blowout. It might be like a 21-35 type of situation, right? I think they're going to be ready for this. I think they're going to be dialed in. The offense is humming, and the passing attack is good to go. And Darrisaw, in his first start, and I didn't get to talk about this yet, Darrisaw, a rookie in his first start against Brian Burns, who is one of the trickiest, shiftiest, fastest defensive ends in the league. Not the best. He plays ghost technique as a base, which is a technique I don't fully understand. No one else does that, right? So he's a very tricky. That is not an easy first assignment, right? It's not a Bosa. It's not a Myles Garrett, right? It's not a Danielle Hunter, but it's a very tricky assignment. And he gave up one pressure on like 50-something dropbacks.
What's the ghost? What's the ghost technique?
I don't understand it that well. It's a tech. So every pass rusher has a move, right? And ghost technique is where like you don't really do anything and you kind of like get up on them and like it's really well, when you watch, he's not like slapping down as much. He's not like doing like a crazy spin move. He's usually doing like a speed rush, or he's doing this thing where he kind of gets up on them and then like you kind of judo and like you don't even touch him. Right? I cannot like cool. I would recommend anyone go listen to Brandon Thorne or read a Brandon Thorne breakdown. Does excellent offensive lineman and defensive lineman breakdowns. If you want to actually learn, because I know enough to get in trouble. That's about it.
Yeah.
But that's a tricky first assignment. Brian Burns is a stat head love boy, like the hipsters love him type of pass rusher, and he held up and he let up one pressure that didn't end up in a sack. And if Darrisaw ends up being a starting caliber left tackle in his rookie season, that's very rare. And that would go a long way in this game, right? Because he's going to be going against Parsons. They do a lot of crazy stuff up front, and so it'll be a good test for the offensive line. I like the Vikings 31-28. I think a lot of points are going to get scored. I think Greg Joseph is going to continue the roller coaster of either winning or losing the game on his foot, and he's going to win this one. Probably lose another one later in the season, but he's going to win this one. 31-28 Vikings. Kirk Cousins, another game-winning drive, which is another narrative that is shattered.
Well, tell you what, I am on the Greg Joseph hype train. I've got him in most of my fantasy leagues, so I
picked him up too.
Yeah, so he's been solid. So my question to you then, with you're predicting a win, does this change the narrative of the season? If they could beat the Cowboys, I mean. Because you're predicting with Dak, they still win, right?
Yeah, with Dak, they still win. I think the injury either way, if Dak probably isn't going to run, that's a big deal. So even if he does play, that is a factor. Because he that's a big part of his game. It's not the only part. He's a quarterback who can run, not one who has to, of course. He's a great passer of the football, a great diagnoser of the defense. But if he can't run, that's something you don't have to account for. And it makes scheming a lot easier if you don't have to account for the QB running as much.
So yeah, I mean,
sorry, go ahead. I didn't even answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, they win. Does this kind of change the trajectory of the season?
Oh yeah, huge win for the Vikings. Puts them in actual playoff contention instead of that stupid like, oh, we're the seventh, we're in the
Right,
hunt, right?
right.
Which is
Yeah.
like where the Vikings live is in the hunt. But, so yeah, you go into playoff contention, but this is once again this is not an easy stretch. Right,
No,
so
yeah.
you beat the
Ravens.
Cowboys, and you're like, all right, great, but
Ooh.
we don't have a second. The Vikings have the hardest remaining schedule in the league. I'm gonna pull up. I should know it by heart this time.
Oh,
So I keep
I was
telling
looking at
myself
here.
that.
Yeah, Ravens, Chargers, Packers,
Yeah,
Niners.
Ravens, Chargers, Packers twice, Bears at Soldier Field. You know, like, and sure, you get to play the Lions again or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They've
yeah,
been
no,
rough
the
too.
easy
Yeah,
part of the schedule is over, and the Vikings are 3-3. This is a must win.
yeah,
If they
yeah,
lose this game, it's I guess it's not a must win, but like if you're just chasing 500 all season, you're a mediocre team,
yeah,
and no one wants to be
yeah.
a mediocre team. What was yours again? Yours was 31-24.
So mine was where did I have that? Yeah, 31-24 Cowboys. You want to see Dak play,
Oh yeah, as a
and
fan of the Vikings, yeah.
right, right. So yeah, yeah,
I had
yeah.
31-28 Vikings. Okay, excellent. We got that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one for sure. Yeah, I really want to see the matchup to watch is Darisaw on the left side of the line. And I think so. That's one of the matchups to watch for sure. Darisaw versus whatever they throw. It might be Parsons sometimes, but how does he hold up? And if he's it's going to be a fun matchup because he's a big boy, fun to watch move around. And then it's going to be Justin Jefferson against Trayvon Diggs, which is
Oh,
going to be I think because Trayvon Diggs has been shadowing a little bit. So I think they're gonna put him on Jefferson, and which opens up Thielen pretty nicely for your fantasy owners out there. Not like you weren't gonna play him, but you can feel. I think you can feel really good about Thielen this week.
so maybe not feel so good about Jefferson though.
No, I don't think that's it at all. Like we said, I think wherever Trayvon this game, it doesn't matter who he guards on whatever play because both the receivers he would guard are excellent. He is going to Trayvon Diggs is going to give and receive. He's going to give and take,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he might get an interception, but like we said, he's allowing 19 yards per completion.
Wow. Yeah. So when
And
he,
if you
yeah,
take out last game where he like threw it, or like it was crazy, and he had a big play, but he also got burned for like a massive touchdown.
yeah,
It's still 17, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not like, and so Jefferson's gonna eat. It's whether Kirk can protect the ball, whether Jefferson can adjust to the ball in the air, because Diggs plays it like a wide receiver. He should. I mean, I like that he's a corner because it's fun, but he plays the ball like a wide receiver, and so your wide receiver better be able to play the ball better than a good wide receiver because he'd be an excellent wide receiver too.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
so those are the two matchups that I'm gonna watch for sure.
Well, yeah. So these are, three really interesting games, storylines this week, and there's a few others, as we get deeper
Yep.
in the season.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to another week. This, NFL season marches on,
Yes, it
and
does.
hopefully one of us, I'm guaranteeing one of us will have a win here.
Yeah, who are the Bears playing this week one more time?
It's not going to be the Bears, probably.
Oh, you mean in fantasy?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I was just saying like
In the predictions. I
in the
apologize.
predictions.
Because
Yeah.
we had two of the teams. Yeah, we had two
Yes.
predictions. Yeah, that's fair. So we can't. Yeah, we should have thought about that. That's a rookie mistake there.
No, that's all right. Yeah. I'm not thinking the Bears are going to win, but this week, but who knows? And as we were watching, the Packers did pull out versus the. They tried to give it up. They tried to
Yeah.
give it up. But,
I put that one down. I put that one down in the group chat, and I put that one down in the Pick'em League.
well done. Well done.
Yeah. No, who did you have on this one? Well,
Oh, I thought the Cardinals were going to win, but
yeah.
it'll be interesting with the Kyler Murray chat.
Didn't seem like he had a very good game.
He didn't. I didn't
No.
see. I don't think he had a touchdown pass. He had an interception.
I don't think so. Interception and a bunch of yards, probably.
Yeah.
So screw me in my IDP league. Oh well, that's okay. We can win
Yeah.
without a quarterback. That's the great thing about IDP. Anyway, we've gotten
Yeah.
we're going way around.
So all good stuff.
Yeah.
Good luck in all of your
Yeah.
fantasy this week, and
Absolutely, you as well.
yeah. So and
Good
we
luck to
will.
the Bears. Good luck to Justin Fields. Turn that frown upside down. You can do it. I know it doesn't feel good, but you can do it. You can do it.
I'll turn it upside down when we have a new coach. How about that?
Yeah, everyone will. That'll be a celebration league wide. All
We
right.
will. Agreed.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again.